All right, today we are going to open up the digital toolkit that pretty much runs our modern world. We're going to see how we went from just trying to tame the absolute chaos of information all the way to teaching that information how to think. So yeah, let's just dive right in.
You know the feeling, right? We're all basically swimming in this giant tidal wave of information. You've got social media feeds, news alerts, reports from work. It is just chaotic. But for decades, we've actually been building some really powerful tools to bring order to all this madness, starting with the most fundamental one of all.
So where do you even start? I mean, to tame this digital wilderness, you first need a system, a way to organize everything. And that system is the database.
Okay, the easiest way to think of a database is like a perfectly organized digital filing cabinet. Seriously, it's this super structured collection of related info all about one specific subject. You know, like a hospital's patient records or a library's book catalog. It is all about structure.
Now, if the database is the filing cabinet, then the database management system, or DBMS for short, that's the librarian. It's the actual software, something like MS Access, that lets you create, update, and search through that cabinet. It's the brains of the operation, the thing that controls all that organized data.
And inside that filing cabinet, all the information lives in what we call tables. And a table is really just a simple grid of rows and columns, a lot like the spreadsheet. So you might have one table for customer names and another one for their orders, all kept neat and tidy and super easy to find.
Okay, so we've got this organized system, but what's the big deal? Why go to all this trouble? Well, it turns out the benefits are absolutely huge.
A good DBMS basically has superpowers for your data. First off, it gets rid of messy duplicates, so you don't have like 5 different versions of the same contact info. It makes it easy for lots of people to share data, so teamwork is seamless. It also controls inconsistency, which means if you update a phone number in one spot, it's updated everywhere. It keeps things tidy by enforcing standards. It protects sensitive info with security, and it makes sure all the new data coming in is actually correct. It's like a complete guardian for your information.
So our data is organized, it's tidy, and it's safe. What's next? Well, now we have to actually do something with it, right? We need a place where we can shape it into something useful.
And this is where software suites like OpenOffice come into the picture. Think of this as your digital workbench. It's built with all these specialized tools designed to turn that raw, organized data into reports, presentations, and, actual insights. And every single tool on this workbench has a very specific job. You've got Writer for your documents, Calc for crunching all the numbers in spreadsheets, and Impress for building those great-looking presentations. You even have a tool called BIS, which is for building databases right inside the suite. Each one is a master of its own craft.
Okay, so we've gone from messy data to organized databases, and then we've used tools to create stuff with it. But what if we could take one more giant leap? What if we can make our data not just organized, but intelligent? This, right here, is the most exciting part of the journey.
This is the question, the one that has driven computer science for decades. It's such a simple question, but the answer is incredibly complex, and it forms the very foundation of the field we now call artificial intelligence. At its heart, artificial intelligence, or AI, is really the science of making intelligent machines. It's all about creating systems that can do things that would normally require human intelligence. Stuff like learning from experience, reasoning through problems, and understanding language. The whole goal is to build that man-made thinking power.
So this idea of thinking power, it sounds amazing, but what does it actually look like in the real world? Well, the applications are already all around us, probably in more ways than you even realize.
AI is what powers those intelligent robots on factory floors that can learn and adapt to new things. It's the engine inside expert systems that help doctors diagnose diseases. It's that opponent in your video game that suddenly comes up with a clever new strategy you totally didn't see coming. It's the vision system that lets your phone identify a plant from a photo. And it's the natural language processing that lets your smart assistant understand what you're saying, even if you have a strong accent. Seeing AI in action is one thing, but how does it actually work? How does a machine get from a giant pile of data to a smart decision? Well, it's not magic. It turns out AI problem solving is a very logical, very structured process. It's a methodical approach that we can actually break down into 5 pretty clear steps.
So how does this actually work? Let's take a navigation app. First, the AI defines the problem. Get the user from point A to point B as fast as possible. Simple enough.
Then it analyzes the problem. It looks at current traffic, road closures, speed limits, maybe even traffic light patterns. Third, it identifies all the possible solutions: the highway route, the side streets, the scenic route, all of them. Fourth, it chooses the best one by calculating the travel time for each and picking the fastest. And finally, it implements that solution by giving you turn-by-turn directions. See, it's just a logical path from a question to an answer.
Wow, we have covered a lot of ground, from just organizing data all the way to the frontiers of artificial thought. So looking at this whole toolkit we've built, what does the future hold? Where do we go from here?
We've come so far, evolving from just storing information to creating systems that can actually reason with it. It's an incredible journey. But, and this is important, as powerful as these tools are getting, it's crucial to remember they still have some pretty significant limitations.
For one, building and training these advanced AI systems is incredibly expensive and takes some serious expertise. But maybe more fundamentally, they don't have feelings or emotions or true creativity. They can get really good at mimicking them, sure, but they can't actually feel them. And of course, as these systems get more and more capable, we have to start thinking seriously about our growing dependency on them.
And all of this leaves us with what might be the most vital question of all. With this amazing, powerful digital toolkit at our disposal, the real challenge isn't just about building smarter machines anymore, it's about deciding how we, as humans, are going to wisely use that intelligence to build a better future. What problems will we choose to solve?